When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? For the union makes us strong. When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? For the union makes us strong.
Hello everyone, how are you today? What a day, what a week! I always say it. Hello camera 1, camera 2 and camera 3. Mwah, mwah, ah, hey. Well, I got to start telling a few tales here. Oh, my name is Quinlan from Melbourne Musos, Facebook Live. Hey, there we go. We're all in it together. Hey, I have news for you, and I'll take the badges off for just a little bit. It's still going to be a drum tip show. I've got things to do. We had the ANZAC Day on Monday, and for all intents and purposes, I've got a bit of clickage here. For all intents and purposes, what I was going to do was go over my rudiments, press rolls, and all the things I used to do with the City of Essendon Brass Band back in the early 90s. We're all in it together, and that's probably the theme of tonight. And what I'm talking about with tonight is going through a few things. I have a little bit of a thing that I sometimes talk about it. Opposites attract, okay? And what goes on with that is that sometimes we're playing things that aren't usually meant to go together. I mean, who thought of putting chili with chocolate? Hey, Tim Tams, mate, Tim Tams. You know, I haven't done pickled onions with ice cream yet. You know, that kind or whatever it is. But sometimes, you know, opposites attract, you know. And sometimes what happens is that things happen that seem to be opposite to what people think. You know, one of the terms is cognitive dissonance, where your actions actually are opposite to what your beliefs are. And never has been a kind of a more important time to sort of get your brain and your actions as one. So you can be all in it together. Now, I'm going to come back to drums, but it was a big week. ANZAC Day was big enough and amazing. And what we have to do in our remembrance of those dear men and women who did everything they did that we celebrate for. Essentially for me it's been, well, for my family it's a big month, because what happens is my brother passed away before ANZAC Day. ANZAC Day is a remembrance of my father, who I'll get back to talking about in a minute. And then on the 27th is the anniversary of my mother passing away. So bang, 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 bang. So, it's all good. Let me tell you what happened today, and then I'll get into it. I've got some press releases here, and I don't know what's happening, but essentially I've been talking about Musicians Australia a fair bit, both here and on social media. And through the week, I was asked to represent them for the saving of the John Curtin Hotel, which is one of the iconic hotels of Melbourne, specifically Carlton, opposite the Trades Hall. That was Bob Hawke's local. That's why I put him on there. And that iconic pub has been bought by developers and overseas developers. And a big thing happened this morning. Essentially, the Victorian Trades Hall Council, the MEAA, the Media and Entertainment Arts Alliance, of which Musicians Australia is of course, the Musos adjunct to that. The CEO of Music Victoria was there today as well, and one of the main people from the National Trust. Now, when you're talking about 4 organisations like that, where there's a lot of business going on, and let me talk about it. I'll just read to you straight off. Basically, Building Industry Group declares a green ban on the John Curtin Hotel. In a historic and bold move, the Building Industry Group, BIG, has today declared a green ban on the John Curtin Hotel to protect the site. The historic hotel was purchased recently by an offshore developer, and the Victorian Union movement acted swiftly and decisively in a bid to protect the historic building from being destroyed. Like the Corkman. Remember that? They just went straight in and went bang. And that was a grand old pub in its own little way, you know. And there's that. Similar green bans led by the Builders Labourers Federation, BLF, have saved Melbourne icons. Now, this was a surprise to me. The City Baths, Princess Theatre, Hotel Windsor, Flinders Street Station. Can you believe someone wanted to develop Flinders Street Station at one point? I did not know that. Did you know that? I did not know that. I mean, really, when we talk about things like that...
would you mind telling me whose brain I did put in?
You won't be angry? Abby's someone. It's very abnormal to think that Flinders Street Station was once going to go bang. And I'll keep reading. And the Queen Victoria Market, if you don't mind, from development. Unionist committee members and musicians are now set to take action. As well as being a well-loved meeting place for Melburnians and the Labour movement, the pub is also one of the few dedicated live music venues in Carlton and acts as an important stepping stone for emerging local and international talent. That's what happened today. There's a green ban on it. Oh, my Lord. And, I mean, that's pretty crazy to have, well, not crazy, in a good way is what I mean, is to have not only the collective of the unions, but also together with the National Trust and Music Victoria as well. So it was a big day today of we're all in it together. That has been bandied about so much, but oh my Lord, one of the biggest things to think about ANZAC Day. We're all in it together today with music. We're all in it together. One of the things that happens, especially when I go on social media representing Musicians Australia and stuff, is that there's a lot of comments about, oh, you're going to kill the venues and all that sort of stuff. With, on another side of things, the $250 minimum that has been accepted by, what it basically is, it's 5 states, but it's 4 states that have got it in, and New South Wales have it ready to go in the Senate. So any day it's going to be the 5 states. So the point is moot. I mean, when you've got 5 state governments of all denominations, both denominations, there's something wrong. You know, that's a bipartisan thing that's saying, mate, the system's cooked, you know, that kind of thing. So what goes on? My show tonight is reflective of that. Things need to change. We've got an election coming up. We've got a bit of cognitive dissonance going on, all sorts of business. People are going to, you know, vote for, of course, their own best interests. That's natural. There's nothing wrong with that. But what are your best interests? You know, that kind of thing. So there you go. What I will just talk about too, it is a drum show, so I'll start better playing something. what I was asked to talk about, my little 2 cents was the fact that the John Curtin Hotel, of course, is in Carlton. And what happens is that, what I told the press today, seemed like the gang was all there, which is very nice. Might be on the news now as we speak. But what it is I grew up in Carlton. Please bear with me, regular watchers, the regular audience of the show, is that, but I'll get it out there because maybe somebody doesn't know. But my father started all the Irish folk music at the Dan O'Connell Hotel in Carlton. What he did, he came to the pub in 1963 after about 8 years at the Prince of Wales Hotel in St Kilda, and came to it in 63. I was 3, so it's easy. I was born in 1960. And in 1969, David Brannigan, along with Jamie and Liz Johnson, started up all the things famous for that particular hotel. And then I told everyone today, it's gone. Okay, it went through many owners. My father was the longest serving publican. No one can take the record away from him now because it's gone. When I was growing up, of course, myself and all my little mates, let me see, George was Maltese, Egidio and Frank were Italian, Peter was Greek, George's mum was from Libya, and it was cosmopolitan. You know, it's one of these things. And I just grew up with these dear people. And, pardon me. And what it is we'd all boot off to Prince's Park, right? To what? Carlton. When Jezza was playing, if you don't mind. Oh, you beauty. Prince's Park is gone. It's just the training ground now for the team, right? That was a grand old... there was no reason. Anyway, there's that. It's gone. When I was a bit older, you'd go to Prince's Park. Then you go across the road to the Sarah Sands Hotel. Who remembers the Sarah Sands Hotel? Gone. It's gone. And that's what my little 2 cents was with the press today. I believe Channel 7-9, I think the gang was all there. There was a lot of people. The lady from The Age kept saying, can you get your crew together? I'll take a few shots. So I don't know. But I just want to thank Musicians Australia for giving me the opportunity and say, would you like to do it? Me? Okay, all right. And there it goes. So it was very quick. And it happened very quickly because of this green ban. And it's got to stop. When you have such a heritage of Melbourne, the Melbourne live music scene, we all know per capita... Simone, the CEO of Music Victoria, was adamant in saying that we don't just say it's the live capital for music in the world. We know it by stats per capita sort of thing. We've got more live venues than any other place. It's vibrant and all that, but we've gone through so much hell in the last couple of COVID years, you know, and that's part of the thing. Just get these people to be paid. You know, just a base thing, you know. We're not, in that case, like here we are today, trying to save one of the iconic venues in town. And yet a lot of people think Musicians Australia are there to close us down because we want to get paid. Well, of course we do. But we don't want to close venues down. We want to change them. And what it was is with the John Curtin Hotel, they did everything right. They're one of the good, great pubs that gives a guarantee, gets things done, you know, does the advertising, does their best. If you pull a good crowd, they'll have you back. Even if you're a great act and you didn't pull your crowd, they'll give you another go. I remember in Sarah Sands, I was in a band called Beltane, and those are the days when we'd got a guarantee and we'll give you a month to build your crowd. Not just one-off, you didn't get your crowd piss off, or bring your thirsty mates or anything like that, you know, on a one-off. It was, let's help you build it up. And we did a few residencies at the Sarah Sands. We even won a battle of the bands and got a single out and got a bit played on Triple R and stuff there for a while. And that was the early 90s. It was a different time, but there's that. Now, it's a big night. That's why I'm talking a bit more than I usually do. But I'm going to go back to opposites attract. Okay. Now, one of the things, I'll come back to different things if you like. Maybe I won't. But what happens is that one of the things that happens with drums is that when you're thinking in terms of, oh, this is what I believe, but then, well, then how come you did that? You know, that kind of thing. That's cognitive dissonance. Why did you vote for them? You've just got Nana overboard there. You know, they're going to pull apart, you know, whatever. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about Mum, did I? You know, that kind of thing. So what goes on is that opposites attract, you know. Now I've got a set of brushes in my hand. What happens is that, of course, we have brushes. We might play the jazz thing. Now, I could do other things. Who ever heard of brushes and double bass drum? I've done it before. But what happens is what you can do is you take the pressure off the bass drum, you see. And what you have, what I'm doing there a little bit is I'm doing a kind of a rocking motion on my pedal there, and what I'm doing is just playing more to the middle of my foot. Brushes are usually attributed to jazz, you know, and play brushes, you know, playing a little coffee lounge and stuff. And yet, that is the place where double bass drums started, with dear Louis Belson, who I'll put up there. And he was such an innovator, just and a gentleman too. And what it is when you're playing, you might have... There's another one. Now, I'll put the brushes to one side, and what I'll do now is put the triggers back on and do the double bass drum now. Take the snares off, but with mallets. Okay, so... I'm playing the double bass drum very... Something like that, short little Celtic thing. And there you have that, so I've got that going. If I was to take it out again, got a bit of a click on my left. What's going on down there, Chris? I'm going to talk about this now. What happens is that when you're dealing with semi-breves worth 4 beats. Some of you might know the American name, which is a whole note. Live from New York, Frank Sinatra, presented to you by Colgate Toothpaste. Ba, 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 ba. What happens is, if you're playing an organ or anything like that, you just put your finger on low E and have go, you know, with the other hand eat a ham sandwich, you know, that kind of thing. But when you're a drummer and you've got to play a long roll, you've got to play a shitload of notes, mate. Hey! Now, that's what happens. So you've got opposites attract. What goes on is that what you have is that when you're playing long notes, notice that I'm using the bass drum now. I'm just doing a little like a little 3, like a little drag, like a 4-stroke rough, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And what I'm doing though, it shouldn't happen like that. Double bass drums is for metal, mate. So what goes on? Single stroke roll, there you go. Now, I'm going to talk about snare drum because of ANZAC Day. There you go. What goes on is a press roll. What happens is that you could call that an open press roll, and what you have is open and closed rolls, you see. So what happens here is that is a closed roll. I used to get it from dear Ron Ruth from the City of Essendon Band. Drummer, close those rolls. Yes, you know, they go, yes, band leader. How high? You know, that kind of thing. And what it is we'd play sometimes ceremonies outside and you'd have to play open. And try and keep it even, okay? And then we'd do naturalisation ceremonies quite regularly every quarter. The mayor would come out in his robe and everything beautiful, all of that stuff, and it'd just be, yeah, you've got. I play exactly the same piece of music, but instead of, I'd be going. And dear Evelyn Glennie, oh, I'll put it up there. She is a wonderful musician, and it's Dame Evelyn Glennie. And if you go to YouTube, she does the 30-minute press roll. That's more akin to Remembrance Day, the 11th of November, than it is to ANZAC Day, because 11th of November is ANZAC Day's sombre enough. But there is a little bit of camaraderie and mates and everything. Remembrance Day is a lot more solemn. Okay, it's to remember it. And the band used to just play lots of hymns. Someone's out to get me there. Oh, that's one of those ones from Bolivia. Okay. So what happens is that I'd have to press all day through a hymn. Now, the reason I'm talking about press rolls is press rolls are a little bit cognitive dissonant. Because if you sort of dig in and go, the technical term for that is shithouse. What happens is that a press roll is actually opposite. A good press roll is like, how slow can you go? So what happens is you just get it going. It starts off with just multiple bounces. Build it up, but then you get to a point where they overlap, you see. And then the idea is to keep it perfectly even. Now, if you're having a look at the sticks, I'm hardly even a semiquaver. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then you don't even count. And when you're actually putting it all together to play a cadence, which is what it's called, 16 bars, while the brass is changing their music and giving their lips a little bit of a break, whatever. What goes on is that Who remembers Black Cat? Black cat piddle in the white cat's eye. Black cat piddle in the white cat's eye. Black cat piddle, black cat piddle, black cat piddle in the white cat's eye. Then you. Black cat. There you go. There's heaps of them. And what you would do is work that through, and then you do the 2 3s. 1, 2, 3. And then you're off to the next tune, you see. There you have it. Now, one of the things about a press roll is, as I said, it works opposite. A good press roll is cognitive dissonant. Opposites attract. It's not. It sounds like you're playing incredibly fast. Anyone sort of know the old solo thing where it's like... over there. Oh, he's the fastest drummer in the world. Oh!
Whose brain
I did
put in?
And you won't be angry? No! Oh, you learnt my secret. Oh, I'm a bit out of practice with the one-handed roll. I got to practice it a bit lumpy. All right. So there you go. That's a press roll. Now, I'm going to keep on going with the press roll because of ANZAC Day. I hope you all saw one of the ceremonies. I took particular note of the one in France. And once again, it was, very solemn and all that. But the drummer was actually doing a rhythmical press. I just gave you a press there. Where hopefully it's even. And what goes on with that is that the drummer was, they were tapping time. The tempo is 120. The standard marching tempo, and then you might slow it down if you're doing a march, the actual march down to the War Memorial, maybe. But generally speaking, it's 120 beats a minute. That's how the rudiments are designed. Okay, so I tell my students is when you're building up a double stroke roll, you have to at least get it up to 30-second notes at 120 beats a minute. You just got to do it. It's a requirement. That's what it is. The respect to do the work. And what happened with the French one, with the memorial in France, was he was beating. The drummer was great. Don't get me wrong, it was fantastic, but he was doing it rhythmically. So it was like. A little press there, a little emphasis. There you go, and that's what it is. And you've got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. You can hear it. Or I heard it on Monday. So there's that little bit there. I'm having a little bit of a look at my time. I'm right on. And everything that I've been talking about. I've done all that. Yeah, I've done it. I got through it. What it is one of the things that when you're coming up to do these kinds of things, just work at it diligently. There's one thing I did want to do. I'll just do this quickly. I've done it before. I think I did it the other week, but this is all part and parcel of it. There's 3 main taps. There is the single tap, there is the double tap with the rebound, and then there is what I've spent the bulk of tonight about is the press. I was almost going to do a whole episode on the press roll. I nearly have tonight, but the week took a turn. There you go. And but what goes on is that there's the Ed Shaughnessy exercise, which I will keep explaining. What happens is you play a press. Blur that into a double stroke roll. Blur that into a single stroke roll. Oh, my hands. Hey. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to finish off the show now. I'm going to play a little piece for you. Opposites attract. One of the last things I'll give you is turning your feet around. Now, I've got my right foot now. Left foot. So, let me play. I might do a calypso-based thing. When I do it normally, oh look, I'll take this off again. I'll show you. Get it? Got it? Good. Now the other way around. Sometimes we're time poor. We'd love to practice the drums all day long, but you know we've got places places to go and people to be. And what happens sometimes is, oh man, I've got to do it with the left hand. Left hand start. I've got to do this. Sometimes, if you've got a remote hi-hat and a double kick pedal, all you do is swap. So I've got down here. I've got. I'll show you. Hello, camera one. There you are. See there? I've got 2 pedals there. I've got 3 there. That used to be for the cowbell down there, but now it's a trigger. So there you go. So that's what goes on. How's that for good camera work, Chris? Soft. So you're essentially swapping. So whatever patterns you might have, swap them around. Swap your feet. One of the things is Billy Cobham had in the late 70s, going back to Louis Bellson. There's a picture out there that I hadn't seen before, Louis Bellson with 3 bass drums way back when, and a symmetrical tom setup. And sometimes what is new is just what's been forgotten. You can also say that with pay. I mentioned Sarah Sands Hotel from 30 years ago. It is 30 years ago, 1992, so it's 30 years ago. And we used to get a guarantee. We used to get a month to build up a crowd. Whatever happened in those days? Just every week, bang, bang, bang. You'd get your locals, all sorts of stuff. Of course, we're going to have a discussion about that. Let's go, with the old social typing. But what happens, though? It got forgotten, apart from a few good pubs like the John Curtin, you see. I talked to the booker today. It was wonderful. Okay, so it was, fantastic stuff. They did the right thing. You want to. You're the local watering hole for the Trades Hall Council, mate. Now, how about if I put my right foot on the right high? Avant-garde. About ANZAC Day, and then the week took a turn, and it got a little bit on the all hands on deck, it got dacked, all hands on deck to save an iconic pub in Carlton, and everyone was there. As I said, the gang was all there, so there you have it. So when you have people that are coming together, and sometimes from different places. I mean, like from different unions, some real hard-bitten ones. We've got the Musicians Australia, of course, and then the MEAA. That is the umbrella for everyone, even journalists. We've got actors. We've got some people that you really do know. They're quite famous people. And that's what the MEAA is, to cover these dear people. And especially during the last 2 COVID years, where some of these beautiful musicians weren't eligible for whatever it was that they were going for. I know some people who did not get a cent and had to sell stuff. And I think we all know people who've really done it hard. And we're supposed to be out of it. We're out of lockdowns and things like that. But I've got to tell you, I've had more COVID cancellations this year than the last 2 years combined. And even some of the people that were at the curtain today fighting for it said, we've just had to gig cancelled this morning. You know, that kind of thing. And the only gigs we get are fundraisers. So that means you don't get paid at all. It's a fundraiser, you know. I'm sure there's plenty of beer sales there. But the poor musos, but there it is there. So it's a bit of a different show, eh? I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll have it up later on. Go, Bobby!